Hello, it's Friday the 2nd of November and this is the EuroMillions update. Now, nobody won the last draw and the prize fund is now 76 million. That was the last draw in October, and this is my analysis of the combination that was drawn. So, turns out that number 23 was the most frequently drawn number with machine 1 in recent history since the star numbers went up to 12. And when we look at number 23, turns out that star number 12 was most frequent with main number 23 since the star numbers went up to 12. Then when we look at number 12, it turns out that number 17 was most overdue for its frequency with star number 12. And when we look at main number 17, you can see 23 most frequent with 17 and machine 1 in recent history, and main number 27 most frequent with 17 in recent history, and it's the same with set of balls 5, main number 17, main number 27 was most frequent with 17. Now when we look at 27 in recent history and with set of balls 5 or with machine 1 in recent history, then 17 is most frequent with 27, so it was outstanding in that sense. And then so 23 points to 12, 12 points to 17, 17 points to 27. So we've got machine 1 in recent history points to 23, 23 points to 12, 12 points to 17, 17 points to 27, which points back to 17, 17 points to 23, and so on. And then also, out of the blue, 43 turns out, and the most overdue star number with 43 was star number 1, which is also star number 12 is most frequent with in recent history since the star numbers went up to 12. And then most frequent with 43 is 44 with set of balls 5, and also 44 most frequent with 43 in recent history. When we look at number 44, it turns out that number 27 was most overdue for its frequency to occur with number 44. So I will show you what that looks like on the chart. So before the last draw we were up to draw 1158, and these are the numbers that came out in the last draw. Draw 1159. So if we narrow it down to machine 1 and recent history, then the chart looks like this. And this is where the winning numbers were. So you can see 23 stands out as being most frequent with machine 1. So then if we look at a chart for number 23, and we look at all machines and the recent history, then you can see number 12 stands out as being the most frequent star number. So there's number 12. Also 17 is most frequent with 23 on this chart, but it doesn't stand out because of the other numbers that are most frequent with 23 as well. So these numbers here, that's just my prediction for the next draw. I'll get to those in a moment. But first of all, I'm going to show you the chart for star number 12, which points to main number 17, because it is the one that is most overdue for its frequency on this chart. And then when we look at 17, then you can see we've got 27 most frequent, and if we narrow it down to set of balls 5, then again 27 most frequent. And also with machine 1 in recent history, machine 1, there you go, 23 most frequent with main number 17. So the question is, why did 43 come out? Did any of the numbers point to 43? Let's find out. Okay, so you can see 43 is on the edge of the chart for numbers paired with 23 and machine 1. And if we look at set of balls 5, can't see it on that. So, looking at the chart for 43, you can see that 44 is most frequent and star number 1 was most overdue on that chart. But was it predictable? I don't know. So anyway, that concludes my analysis of the latest result. And now that those numbers have come out, let's look at the draw history. You notice it's been machine 1 and set of balls 5 this month. Well, what was it last month? Machine 3 and set of balls 3, and before that machine 2, set of balls 1, and then back to machine 1, set of balls 5. So we've got 3 and 3, 2 and 1, 1 and 5, and the same pattern has been repeated over and over. And so if this trend continues, then after machine 1 and set of balls 5, it's going to be machine 2 and set of balls 1. So let's have a look at a chart for machine 2, set of balls 1, and see what stands out on the chart for that machine and set of balls that I predict is going to be used in the next draw, which will take place tonight on the 2nd of November. Well, looking at this chart, the main number that stands out is 27, because it's most overdue for its frequency. And you notice 40 is most overdue and 36 is most frequent. Well, in my last video I was talking about some other numbers and I said number 40 by mistake, and I didn't even notice. And it just so happens that sometimes when I say the wrong numbers by mistake, those numbers come out in the next draw, because I've just got a habit of doing that. Well, I said number 40, and when you look at the chart for machine 2, the full draw history, or is it the chart for set of balls 1, I think should be, yeah, that's the one. Look where number 40 is, right up there at the top, and all the other numbers are right down there at the bottom. So that tells me that number 40 is very outstanding. So when I said number 40 by mistake in the last video, maybe subconsciously I picked up on the fact that number 40 is by far the most overdue number to be drawn from set of balls 1. So in the next draw, you definitely want to bet on number 40 for that reason. And I'm going to show you something else interesting. Now, for this I have to look at all machines and sets of balls full draw history, and we'll just have a look at number 27. Now, I know 27 came out in the last draw, but when we look at the gaps between occurrences of number 27, we count how many times each gap has occurred, and we look at the last draw that the gap occurred in. Well, look where number 1 is. Actually, that's not a number, that's just a measure of gaps between occurrences. Number 1 equates to consecutive occurrences. So the last time that number 27 came out 2 draws in a row was way back in draw 1053. And that has happened 9 times. And if you notice, the smaller numbers are eventually going to end up further on the left, and the larger numbers are going to eventually end up further to the right, because for any number of draws there are more possible smaller gaps than large gaps. So what I'm saying is, if there are 10 draws, then it's possible for the gap between occurrences to be a gap of 1 10 times, whereas a gap of 2 only 5 times. So for any number of draws, the gap of 1 should occur twice as often as the gap of 2. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if it does or not. But anyway, looking at this, looking where the 1 is, and looking at where the other numbers are, to me that says it's been a while since 27 came out twice in a row, and it should do so more often, and that 1 should move further to the right. So if it comes out again, then this box will contain a 1. That 1 will move to there if 27 comes out, and so it should, because eventually that 1 should be the furthest on the left. So what I'm saying is, looking at the gaps between occurrences, I'd say that 27 is set to occur twice in a row again, which means the next draw it's very likely to come out. And when we look at machine 2 and set of balls 1, then 27 stands out as being most overdue for its frequency. So 27, very good bet. Now if we look at number 40, which has never occurred with machine 2 and set of balls 1, and we see what numbers it comes out with most often. See, there's 27, so maybe 40 and 27 is a good combination, maybe not, I don't know. See, it's quite overdue with 27, but not as overdue as 16, obviously. Now, 16 and 27 is in fact the most overdue pair. If you look at all the pairs of numbers, and you see when they last came out, the oldest one is 16 and 27. It's not been out since draw 12, and we're now on draw 1160. Now, if you look at the averages, look at the probabilities, the average gap between occurrences of any pair of numbers is once every 122 draws. Now, bear in mind that that's the average. 16 and 27 hasn't been out for over 1100 draws, so that's like way down here. So the chances of it coming out, I'd say pretty good. It's well overdue. It's well overdue for 16 and 27 to come out together. Now, if you want to know some other numbers to pick, well, looking at the chart for all machines and sets of balls, full draw history, this is what the main number side of the chart looks like at the moment. So, most outstanding main number is 19, because it's most overdue for its frequency. Then we've got 50, which is most frequent, and 13, which is most overdue. So 19 generally best bet, and I've got a little strategy which I'd like to show you. This is my one number up pick strategy, and what you do is you pick one number, you put one line on that number, you bet on it until it comes out. If it don't come out after 6 draws, you put 2 lines on, and you keep increasing the number of lines that you put on to make sure that when you win enough profit. You win enough to cover your losses and still make a profit, basically. So now, if you were following this strategy since draw 1148, after 37 came out, then you would have gone down by £31.50 so far, and in the next draw you need to put 4 one number up picks on 19 to win your money back and still make a profit. Because if you put 4 on at a cost of £6, then you win 40 quid, which means you make a profit of £34, which covers your losses, and you still make a profit. So I would highly recommend, if you're following this strategy like I am, then you will need to put 4 one number up picks on number 19. But anyway, that's 19. Now if you look at a chart for numbers paired with 19, then number 5 is most overdue for its frequency. We've also got 22 most overdue, and these are the most frequent numbers. And if we narrow it down to machine 2, still got number 5 standing out with 19, so that's a very good 2 number up pick, 19 and 5. And let's see what happens if we look at machine 1, set of balls 1 as well. Well, now the chart's only covering 3 draws, so I don't have to see anything on that. But if we look at set of balls 1 on its own, and with 19, yep, still the same. So basically, good 2-number up pick if you're picking 19 anyway would be to have 19 and 5. Also, I noticed that 38 is most overdue with 19. When we're looking at all machines, I've deleted something by mistake. Undo. Damn it. Need to undo that. There we go. Fixed it. Now, that was a mistake looking at that. Right. Machine 2. Number 19. So I don't know why I'm not picking number 5. I'm going to pick 38 instead. Can't remember why. So maybe I need to pick 5 actually with that. So 5 and 19, 16, 27, 40. And the star numbers, well, star number 7 most overdue for its frequency. And then we've got these star numbers. Look at set balls 1, we've got 10 most overdue, 7 most frequent. If we look at all machines and sets of balls, then 7 is most overdue for its frequency, but we need to look at recent history since the star numbers went up to 12. See, that's 7. And if we look at machine 2, then I can't remember why I'm picking 10. But anyway, let's have a look on the analyzer. Right, change this to machine 2 and set balls 1. Then now you can see the coincidences that point to these numbers, hopefully. Right, so let's have a look at that. Right. Machine 2, set of balls 1, recent history. Ten most overdue. Why is that? Oh, I'm looking at 19. Right, machine 2, set of balls 1, recent history. Machine 2, set of balls 1, recent history. Why does that say 10 most overdue on there? And then when I look on here, it's saying 7 most overdue. Well, I don't understand that. Oh yeah, it's because I'm not looking at any machine or set of balls, that's why. So I can delete them. And now look at the star numbers. And now you can see number 10 is most overdue. Right. So that explains that. So this is the chart for all machines, all sets of balls, full draw history. And these are the numbers that I'm picking. This is where they are. So hopefully I'll win something. So I hope this video helps you to pick your numbers. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. So good luck and bye for now.